Good morning, buddy.
Uh,
Or afternoon there, maybe.
All right. So how are you guys doing this morning?
Excellent.
Good news. Good to hear. How's the weather up there on the other side of the border?
A lot of snow in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Still snowing in my area right now. What about Hamilton?
Oh, wow. How much?
Hamilton's looking okay. Okay, it's a sunny day, Frankie, but it's cold outside.
All right.
As you can see, still we have a ton of snow out the window here in Wells, British Columbia.
Wow.
But we are expecting thunderstorm activity this afternoon. So very excited. Gonna have my cameras ready and be out there, I think.
Okay, that'll be interesting. We had a little.
It'll be weak thunderstorms, but you know, in the mountains of northern British Columbia, at this time of year, you don't expect to see tornadic weather like is happening down south.
Mm-hmm. We had some thunderstorms here in the Northwest as well, which is kind of strange. So,
Where are you at, Ian?
I'm in Idaho, actually.
Oh, cool.
So technically touching you guys at the line there.
Yeah. So then you should do is join my weather group I run in BC, because I think we do allow people from fringe provinces and states to join Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers.
Sure.
Because a lot of your weather comes to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes ours goes to you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's largely a BC interior based group, but we do have people, especially who are storm chasers and whatnot on the outside. That.
Yeah.
So tell us about you and your show, because I don't really know what I'm getting into here.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I actually mostly run a news website, but occasionally I do videos for my Facebook page. I don't really have a set schedule at this point, but occasionally I'll do videos to kind of canvas over some of my recent news stories, or just give a little bit of basic commentary for my followers, just kind of something to give a little extra engagement for people that are following my stories, to kind of show them that I'm a real person and I'm not just a bot or some clickbait website. You know, I try to put a little bit of my personality into my stories, even though they're politically biased. Of course, I still try to put some creativity in there. So that's pretty much it, what I do. And I've been.
I would guess that we're from the opposite ends of the political spectrum.
Which end are you? Are you towards the left, or?
Well, I definitely wouldn't call my company Right Media, so.
Okay. Well, that's all
but
right.
I'm glad to talk to you nonetheless, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, you guys are definitely different up there. You're pretty mellow from what I've observed, and kind of try to get along, and so that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing about the Canadians.
Yes, we're very friendly. We got great Canadian maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
We were on a show this week that was from a similar political event as yours, but Canadian. And what he said, I really liked. Ian, Derek said, there's a lot more in common that we have, and people don't really want to allow that to exist. And, my response is, well, we have to allow these things to exist, right? Like, if we live in this, you're my next door neighbor, it's like, well, we think different things, but he's a nice guy. And that's the way the world should be. I'm on a show. Can you stop asking me questions? Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that premise. I believe there are a lot of people out there that have just disagreements, but they are willing to have good faith discussions where they listen to the other side and then they give their honest viewpoints. And I can work with people like that. But there's people,
I'm an intellectual.
Yeah.
And as an intellectual, like, I'm not interested in, as soon as someone's going to start being nasty, I'm gone. I got nothing to learn from you. Bye.
Yeah.
Right. So.
A lot of the American left, they try to kind of gaslight, and they don't really have good faith discussions. And that's where the tensions start to rise here in United States politics. I'll give you a quick example. Just this morning, you have President Biden climbing up the stairs, and he fell 3 times. And the left-wing media in the United States, they're going to cover up for it. They're going to make excuses for it. They're going to say this happened and that happened and it's no big deal. But when Donald Trump was the president, he didn't fall down the stairs, but because of the way he walked up and down the stairs, they said, oh, is he afraid of the stairs?
Yeah.
Because he held on. And so that's what I call a bad faith. They know what's really going on, but they twist the narrative to attack who they want to attack. And that's when it's like, all right, you're not really in it for a...
That's attacking people, though, on things that I would call bigotry-based lines. It's like, so a guy fell, or he walks funny, or he looks different. It's like, those things aren't important. For me, like, I identify as an anarchist, so I'm not really, I'm not one to push a party. To me, I'll look at everything that everyone's saying and have a reasonable attitude about it because I'm an intellectual. But then you have guys like Dylan here who will work for the Conservative Party, and then the same day he'll go and visit Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you're not discriminating, eh, Dylan?
No.
Well, you guys certainly have a different approach. I saw where Trudeau was disappointed with Joe Biden's decision to cut the pipeline plan. So I'm curious how Canadians reacted to that.
Well, it depends, right? Like, I think half of us think it's great, good. And then those who Alberta is definitely angry, and that's a province that's gone into a sort of denialism of reality and into a far right-wing kind of anger that's very destructive to our country right now, in a sense that Alberta right now is not willing to accept the fact that for 55 years, they as a conservative government did nothing to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't willing to accept that. And so they're mad at Trudeau, they're mad at the left, they're mad at Biden, they're mad at the Americans, they're mad at and you try to talk to an Albertan who's politically charged, you can't have a reasonable conversation right now.
Yeah. I understand that. People
Hey,
are. Yeah.
And I'm going to do talking. My name is Frankie MacDonald. I was born and raised in Sydney, Nova Scotia on April 24th, 1984. I went swimming, walking, biking, running, jogging, swinging on the swing when I was a little boy during my elementary school days and middle school days. I graduated from Sydney Academy High School in June 2004. I opened up my old YouTube channel, Flank 99, on December 27th, 2007. I did the videos the scenery. I did the very first video of myself on December 16, 2009. On a Wednesday. Then I did the very first viral video of myself, severe earthquake warning for California, in September 2010, back in June 2010. And I was on Tosh.0 Season 2, Episode 30. I didn't know how to ignore negative people back then. I had to close my old YouTube channel down. And I opened up my brand new YouTube channel, Dogs Wolves, on June 13, 2011. My most viewed video is Guy Tries to Eat 50 Hot Dogs at Once on February 25th, 2013. I was on CBC News Top 10 News Making Stories in 2013. I was on that on October 21st, 2016. I did a video of massive earthquake to hit New Zealand anytime soon. I said 7.0 greater magnitude earthquake. 3 weeks later, on November 13, 2016, 7.8 magnitude earthquake already happened in New Zealand. I was on RT. I was all over the news. I was on CBS News, Global News, all the news around the world. Thanks to my earthquake prediction in New Zealand, my most viewed weather report ever on my YouTube channel is major storm hit South Dakota on Friday, October 4th, 2013. That was my most viewed weather report ever on my YouTube channel. My second most viewed video is Guy Jansen being chased by gorilla. I did that video on July 8th, 2016. I took a video of myself pretending to be chased by a gorilla. That's my second most viewed video ever on my YouTube channel.
How many views, Frankie?
Over 1 million views. Both videos have over 1 million views. This guy tries to eat 50 hot dogs once. A guy dancing being chased by a gorilla. That's another thing. And I won the Vital Caper Excellence Awards back in 2014. And my Frankie Says Be Prepared t-shirts was released by the Lost Cause Clothing Company in February 2015. My original Frankie Doll Bobbleheads from Bobbleheads Canada came out in November 2015. And then this is a Frankie Doll action figure. Ben Campbell started a project on this in 2015. It took a few years to get it complete.
Wow,
Let's do a
that's
picture
cool.
now.
That is cool.
All right, ready, Frankie? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome.
My stormtrooper helmet wasn't nearby, Dylan.
And Sarah Soller and Tara Lee is the general manager of Nimbus Publishing. And contacted me in November 2016, writing in my book, Be Prepared, Frank Doll Got a Life Wedded and everything. Let's do a picture.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome.
Awesome. Pretty cool.
And then Tara Lee is the general manager of Nimbus Publishing. Here, I'm going to show you something. Sarah Soller, she's the person who wrote my book. You can follow Sarah Soller on Twitter, too.
Awesome. Follow Sarah Soller. Pretty cool.
And did you
Frankie
hear
and
about
Dylan.
that? And did you hear about that? My talking Bobbleheads is by National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame. When I press this button, Phil Scholars, the CEO of National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame. Ben Campbell designed Frankie MacDonald action figures. He lives in Big Spring, Texas, United States of America. Here's my talking Frank Doll Bobblehead.
That's my favorite one. Okay, guys, I can eat 50 hot dogs at once. Dylan and Frankie run a TV show, and they interview celebrities,
Celebrities.
like straight up real ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the B stars I interview. Tell them, Dylan.
Yeah, we've interviewed. Last week we had Tim Stutzel and Drake Batherson on from the Ottawa Senators, Frankie's favorite NHL team. We had Brian Book on from the Pittsburgh Penguins on. He's the president of the hockey operations of the Penguins. We had actress Jane Eastwood on our show. She played the waitress in the Santa Claus movie, in the first one with Tim Allen.
Cool.
Yeah, when they go to the Denny's when he burns the turkey.
I'm a
And
fan
she's
of
a waitress
I
that
like
serves
Tim
them.
Allen.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had a lot of celebrities on our show. It's been going well.
That's great to hear. Pretty awesome. How long have you been doing that show?
Since the start of January, and we've got just 3 more episodes that we've already taped, which we did last week, and we got 1 more interview to go, and that's it for season 1.
Okay. And where can people watch that show?
www.cable14.com, and they can go to the live stream link, and it's every Thursdays at 6 p.m. Right now, it's on. The shows are on replay from the first 7 episodes. So
Okay.
until the new ones, till the 3 last of the episodes get put out on April the 15th, I believe.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
We started a show of our own there, the 3 of us, recently called the Meteorological Report. The comedy and meteorology equals meteorology.
I was going to say, I could probably guess what that is. And I guess Frankie likes to do a little dancing too, huh?
I do dancing videos and things like that. Before the COVID, I dancing at the bar with women at the bar, and a lot, and singing karaoke and things like that, dancing with women and things like that at the bar before COVID.
That's awesome.
You should make a new video where you're kung fu fighting Sasquatches.
That would definitely go viral, I'm sure.
I think so.
I was just recently watching your guy tries to eat 50 hamburgers at once video on your Twitter yesterday, and I was cracking up. It's hilarious.
It's very funny.
It's your pinned tweet there at the top, so pretty good. And your stuff usually pops up in my feed pretty often too.
I got an Instagram. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 1984. My TikTok is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Snapchat is Frankie MacDon. My LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald fan page, public figure with blue check mark. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves.
Awesome. So people can find you pretty much almost everywhere.
And Google search Frankie MacDonald.
Yeah.
And you can see our show we run on my YouTube channel. It's called Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude.
All right.
On Twitter, on Twitter and any other social media, you have to hashtag Frankie MacDonald.
Yeah. Hashtag Frankie MacDonald. That's MAC with an A.
Frankie MacDonald. It's hashtag FRANKIE MacDonald.
You guys got the same last name, so I just assumed when I saw your name, Ian, that you were Canadian.
Oh no! Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because my grandmother is actually from Quebec.
Oh, wow.
So you come by it honestly then.
Yeah. So
He's a McDonald's.
That's where Monica Bouillet lives in Bonaventure, Quebec, right now.
wow.
Ah, the McDonald's.
So but I'm also Scottish and Irish as well. But definitely some connection there. So
Nice.
Got a little Irish in me, yeah, but I'm mostly a Dutchman.
okay.
My mom's family came over from Holland in 1951 after the war, and my dad's family been in Canada. Like I don't know my dad, haven't really in my life, but they were hard drinking Irish, half native, kind of people who became professional boxers or went to prison, and over the last, if you look back at the Johnson story, the last 100 years, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Are the way a lot of the stories went.
Wow.
People, right? Oh, he got really drunk and died, or no, he became a professional boxer and got punched drunk and killed. No, he just. So yeah, the Johnsons, there's a lot of bad things there, but my Dutch family, I really identify with that, right? So.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yep. My family's interesting for sure. I feel like I'm pretty unique though. I have kind of a writer's mentality. I overthink politics a lot. I think about everything a lot. So I like to write. That's the best way to get my thoughts out, because when you have a lot to say or you overthink politics, sometimes you can lose people. So the best thing to do is to write. And then if people do care what you have to say, they can read it at their discretion, or if they don't, that's all right too. But then you're not
Frankie, what's so funny?
playing all the time.
There's something to that, eh? Because I do try to keep my YouTube channel pretty light. I don't want it to be, and I've had this long history as being a political activist in this country, so people expect me to be more vocal. But at the same time, it's like, it's nice to be creative and, it's like, let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about, I got beautiful mountains here. Let's go for a walk. Sometimes I falling trees in the show, or just writing songs and stuff, right? It's like, I want it to be just a artistic place to find out who Joey is besides the things he thinks about the world. So I'm not saying I won't ever put politics on my channel, and I'm not saying there hasn't been, but it's just not. I just done that so much in my life. You look at my albums, and they're political, very. So here I am now in my 40s, and being a dad, living in the mountains, and saying, well, there's not much more of a difference I can make in the world that way anymore.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to in politics, is just finding out, can you really, what can you really affect? Do that, and then live your life, enjoy what's, good in the world, like nature, or if you like weather, like Frankie, find a good hobby you like, or you like fast cars, enjoy that, pick up a good hobby.
And certainly with the weather group I run, like BC Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, like I got over 6,000 members, and I think I've banned 5 people over the last 7 years.
Wow.
That's how little fighting and division is in that. And I just find that the weather's a great topic to talk about.
Yeah.
And I mean, if people are watching, my weather reports long enough, they're going to figure out that, climate change is happening in British Columbia. And here's a forest firefighter who's been on the front lines of it, and so that's what I do in the summertime. I fight fire, right?
Okay. It's a noble cause.
So like, there's not a lot of discussion on our weather group because it's like, well, this is a BC weather group. What's happening today is, we got a bit of a cold front slamming in. We're going to get some thunderstorm activity and convection today.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about what that means or why, or, but I don't think that's necessary, right? We're just trying to be practical because so many people here in BC, in the interior, for example, and you understand this from Idaho being somewhat similar geophysically placed, you get up in the morning, you're going to go work logging out in the mountain. So you leave your town, which is down at the lowest part of the valley nearby, and then you drive up to some other place. And when you get 15, 20 minutes out of town, the weather is quite different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also like just the sort of safety culture we're trying to promote. Mm-hmm. So we've had people come on in the past who had some whack anti-climate change conspiracy theory shit, and I'm just like, hey, man, like Greenland is not what this group is about. And then I've also had people who put pro climate change stuff on that was very good science, but I said, this is sort of off topic for what this group's really about.
Yeah, that's cool that you kind of keep it on topic. I just like it, when I talk about that topic, a lot of conservatives now are starting to think more freely and stop taking the default Republican position. So when it comes to things like nature, a lot of us, we do want to preserve the earth. We just have different ideas of how it should be done. We don't think it should be politicized. Maybe you can't necessarily legislate rules that'll fix things. Maybe you can just encourage people to be better stewards of the planet rather than carbon credits or just things that don't always necessarily work. So I think we all want to take care of the planet. I think we have different ways to get there, and I don't believe in making that political.
The only flaw with that thinking though is that, I mean, it's nice to encourage people to try harder and do better, but this isn't a matter of individuals having to pull up their bootstraps and make an effort to change the nature of where civilization is taking the environment, right? Who are the biggest polluters? I mean, I'm a guy who
That's the question.
Sure, I drive a big truck and I cut down trees and sell firewood. But I mean, like, my impact on the world is so small living up here, often getting my food right off the land,
Yeah.
I was butchered a friend's pig this week, and I got some pig in my fridge now. So it's like, I'm not completely living off the land or nothing, but I mean, more than a lot of people do. I get a lot of what I require.
Did you hear about the TV show called The Siberian Cut? Those people in Montana had to go to Siberia to do cutting trees for wood in Siberia, Russia.
Man, it's cold up there.
I'm not going to feel bad about my footprint on the earth when these fucking companies on the up in peace country are doing so much damage, pulling oil and gas in the area. My friend's ranch now is he's got H2S lines all around his ranch that if they go, all of his cattle will die. And it's like, you know what I mean? And these are major problems that aren't just going to be solved by one person saying, you know what, I'm going to choose to recycle. Because the truth is, whether I choose to recycle or not, it's going to make a fucking zero difference when it comes to the long run, right?
Yeah.
Especially because we know that recycling doesn't really change the amount of energy input that we're using.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy.
We're still using that same amount of energy even though we're recycling. It's not really, and really, except for pop cans, most of the shit, if you just keep mining it, it's actually less energy input than trying to ship it all over the world to recycle it, right? So
Joe, do you want to hear something funny?
Yes, I do, Dylan.
You know David Suzuki?
Yeah, man.
I saw him. I saw David Suzuki once in Toronto at a food court. So I went up to him and I asked him for a photo and an autograph. And guess what happened?
Did he say
He's
no?
the only one person that turned me down for an autograph and a photo.
Yeah, he's a jerk, eh? He's a real jerk. I knew that because I bumped into him in Vancouver. And I said, all I said was, hi, David. And he didn't even nod. I was like, fuck you then.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not one to, I've been, as a musician, around celebrities a lot in my life. I'm not one to be like, oh, look, it's David Suzuki. Just I'm walking by, I'm like, hey, David. As if he's a human being.
Yeah.
And doesn't even answer, doesn't even look at me. Like, oh, fuck. Next time I'll slap you in the face then. But his science has made a big difference in this country nonetheless. So good for him.
Yeah,
He'd be a nicer guy.
That's another thing people forget about politics and Hollywood and famous people in general is people forget to be real human beings, and then they get seen as some sort of robot, and then somebody like a Donald Trump who people get all butthurt about because he says mean tweets or this or that. The reason he was so immensely popular is because he's real. So yeah, people can relate to the things he's saying.
The problem is he was real bad. That's and I'm just like, I'd like to see civilization reward someone for being good once. But these problems, like I say,
what
these
about
problems.
Greta Thunberg?
Pardon me, Frankie?
What's that, Frankie?
Greta Thunberg is a climate activist.
Thunberg, yeah.
Greta Thunberg, yeah, she's a very interesting character indeed. I saw a news story about her the other day. I don't know if it's true or not. They said she was writing letters to Ted Kaczynski in jail. Did you see that?
I never heard of that.
Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber. I don't know if that's true. They said it was a report, but they don't know if it's true or not. But he actually had some similar views as she did, but of course they're very different as well.
And so do I. Like there's things about the Unabomber that are romanticizable.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he's a murderer. So.
Oh, I agree with that. Absolutely.
At the same time, I've had people in my life who weren't Ted Kaczynski, nonetheless, but were in prison, and I wrote him a letter or two. So I don't think that people should try to seize on. This is called cherry picking, right? You seize on to small things, and you look at this young woman who's. She was only 15 years old when she started doing this, and she's made a huge impact in the world and encouraged so many people and inspired so many children and found her voice. And like Frankie had to do, rose up above the haters and didn't back down. And this is a story of a very caring young woman who's trying her best. And of course, she's a human being. You put yourself out there and everyone's going to start looking for anything they can to poke at you, right? And it's like, come on, like.
Well, I think
just going back to though, like I was saying, like these problems that we have to face in the world. I mean, climate and weather are inextricably linked. So eventually, you have to talk about climate when you talk about weather.
And it's a tricky thing to
these
talk
problems
about
are not going to go
on social media too, because censorship.
If we have
can't even have. So you gotta.
If we just boil everything down to like, well, eat less meat and recycle. But meanwhile, there's 30,000 nuclear weapons in your country. These are problems that aren't just going to be solved by people being nicer people.
No, I get that. I think people need to remember too, though, that China and India do more polluting than we do. And they're not really doing nearly as much about it as we've already done.
That's a red herring issue, right?
It's not really a red herring issue if you look at the raw numbers, but
what about the research stations like McMurdo Station, South Pole Station, and Palmer Station, and other research stations like Vostok Russian Research Station in Antarctica? The ice caps are melting in Antarctica. Scientists are in big trouble. During the COVID year, not a lot of scientists went down to Antarctica this winter. Even the scientists in Antarctica should have kept their distance.
Yeah, definitely want to stay safe.
I mean, in the industrializing process of the West, we went through all these dirty phases that China and India have too. So there's almost to me, it feels like a racist sort of like, well, you can't have what we have. It's wrong that you're trying to get that. Now, of course, I would wish that they weren't polluting at the level they are. But right now, what we can't worry about is what everyone else is doing. What you got to worry about is how do we make our country do the right thing and set the example the world needs, so we can finally get out of this pointing fingers at each other and deflecting responsibility for what could be a humongous catastrophe for everything that exists on this planet. And you look at our biosphere. Do you know how much atmosphere is above you right now? Only a couple thousand feet, man. You get up to 25,000 feet and there's the end of your oxygen. Think of how small 25,000 feet is, a couple miles. So you get up to the next level, up to the jet stream, 30,000 feet, a couple miles, right? You get up to 60,000 feet to the upper atmosphere, just a couple miles up, man. You have this big planet. You can't see that atmosphere. It's that small, right? All you see from space is this globe, this blue globe. You can't see the atmosphere. It's that small. And people have to realize that's how fragile it is. We're a blue orb in space with a tiny fucking little atmosphere around us.
Yeah. I'm just mainly against.
And we think that having more toys and more technology is more important than preserving our biosphere. That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's not really my stance. I just don't want my tax dollars being sent to global programs that don't necessarily do what it is that you and I both want to see in the end, which is have a clean, sustainable world to live in. So
that's the companies that should pay for that, because they're the ones that have done the damage.
If we're in all these global agreements where we're in, I don't know if you know this, but we're in like $28 trillion worth of debt. And we just spent another 1.9 trillion on a COVID relief bill that only about a fourth of that's going directly to the citizens. So I don't think we have trillions of dollars to put into global climate agreements that.
Well, if you cut your military spending down, 10%, it'd be amazing what your country could achieve. You'd have no poverty left. You'd have nobody homeless. You'd have free health care. Just spend 10% less on military. Try it in the United States.
I'm all for us pulling out of all these countries that we have troops in where we don't necessarily need to be in. So whether or not, taking troops back home would ultimately lead to a reduction in the military budget, if that's the case, that would be good. I'm not for cutting it to the extent where we have to have a lower quality of equipment or, have older airplanes, things like that. I want to have a solid elite force if we have to defend ourselves. But if we can do less police of the world type stuff and save money, I would be for that. And
that policing's always for capitalism, right? But I agree with you that it shouldn't be up to me and you. It shouldn't be up to me and you to foot the bill for what global capitalism is doing to our planet.
I would agree with you on that. And traditionally, the Republican view is not the same view that I'm espousing right now. So like I said earlier, we do have what I call the America First component of the right wing here. We have some free thinkers. We want to find common ground where we can, but also not compromise what matters to us, like traditional conservative values. We believe in strong families, traditional man and woman, relationships being promoted. We're not like against people. People shouldn't be treated poorly for who they are or how they're born or anything like that. But when you're promoting things in Hollywood or on TV, you should promote things that are wholesome, that are good. Even go as far as to say Christian, since we're a Christian founded country. Although
that's your view of wholesome, but at the same time, I have a number of friends who are like these gay couples who are raising children and doing a better job than I am. So,
right, and and like I said, I
can't project our values onto other people because.
Yeah, I don't want to go out and attack people or call them names. That's what the left will do. They'll paint us as, we're going to go out and call people names and demean them and hurt them. That's just not the case. There are a few dumb idiots out there that do things like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out and call people names and attack them. I just want to focus on promoting what I believe, what I support. Other people have a right to disagree with that. But I want to promote what I believe is good and not promote what I don't believe is good. But I'm not out to attack people either. And then even if you don't agree with what I want to promote, you can also agree that the people who do the promoting, they have a monopoly on that promotion. So Hollywood, Nashville, TV, advertisements, go down the list. A very small group of people get to create whatever narrative it is that comes out of your television. And so whichever side you're on, that should still concern you, because there should be free thought, not just, hey, this is how it is, whether you like it or not. There should be free thought. There should be free and open debate, and not, you know what I mean?
Of course, I'm for free thought, but I also need to always point that fact is important, right? And so often we're so busy talking about whether we have the right to think and say what we want that we're not really looking at what the facts are, right? And like I say, some of my gay and lesbian friends are better parents than I am, right? So who am I to tell you, Ian, how to cut your hair, or what to think or do or say or swear or love, or what kind of relationships you should have? I mean, this is our one chance on earth to be who we are. And who I am is someone who's a very traumatized person who's lived an amazing life. And there's things about me that people have a hard time understanding with my
Right.
my mental health, my my creativity, my drive, my somewhat like Frankie ability to like pull up dates, names, and numbers and
Yeah.
things out of the top of my head just like crazy. I have I struggle in this world to be who I am in
Right.
context of the world around me.
We all do, and Frankie is a very impressive figure, and I'm impressed that he's able to stay consistent and rise above. I'm sure there is negativity. I mean, anybody that tries to be a public figure is going to get attacked. So I'm sure that Frankie had to be tough and stick to what it is that he likes to do. And I would say good job, Frankie, for sticking with what you love, especially in the face of a lot of negativity in the world. So
My friendship with Frankie and Dylan has become one of the best new things in my life this last few months, so
that's good.
see you guys every day now, and your encouragement to me.
Positivity is what we need these days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we need to do more and talk less about what matters to us as well. Obviously, with the lockdowns, a lot more people are doing Zoom calls and working from home and things like that. But we got to remember, once all this is over, and it's getting there, I think, to go back out and start living life again.
Ian,
Yeah.
I was going to say, you mentioned about the Zoom calls. I've never heard of Zoom before in my life before the pandemic even started. So I've been learning lots about Zoom.
Yeah. Yep. This is the first one I've hosted yet today. So
Yeah.
I think it's actually the best platform I find.
Mm-hmm.
Skype is really good for a few things. Like I like how you guys can just call me up anytime, and then all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of us on a Skype call. It's pretty cool. Like there's an instantaneous ability of Skype to communicate, whereas with Zoom you kind of have to set up a meeting and this and that. But I find the recording and the production and the audio, you can actually in Zoom go to the audio files and have 4 tracks for us talking, right? So I haven't done that with my videos yet, but I mean that's just a great control piece for your editing, right? So I find that Zoom is probably the best platform for interviewing over the internet.
okay. Well, it seems to be working okay for us today. Once Joey got the camera working right.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Frankie was right. Talk about weather, Frankie. What's going on this week in Canada?
Yeah.
It's going to be lots of rain in Vancouver, British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia on Sunday. It's going to be getting warmer in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Sunday, and it's going to get warmer in Hamilton. It's going to bring more severe weather in southern states. It's going to over in Siberia. It's warming up in Siberia. In Europe, it's going to be changing showers. In Africa, it's getting lots of shower rain in Central Africa and places like that. Fall starts on March 20th in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, because their season is the opposite of our season. They're backwards.
Okay.
When I do a radio, like I'm a weatherman for CFUR radio in Prince George.
Okay.
So when I did my report this morning, and I looked at the sites I all look at, and then I thought, holy shit, chance of thunderstorm all over BC today. How exciting. So it's only 11 a.m. now, but I'm hoping in 5 hours time or so we're gonna see hopefully get some good videos for you guys today. You making any production videos this week, Frankie? Any predictions?
That means I did a both Nova Scotia forecast for today And I did that on Wednesday. I did another forecast for Vancouver, British Columbia yesterday for rainstorm in Vancouver.
Share that on the weather group.
Yes.
I didn't see that one yet.
Well, thanks so much for having us on, Ian.
Yeah, it was nice having a debate and being able to amicably discuss different viewpoints and still get along. That's pretty cool. It's kind of that's refreshing.
I have a lot of hope for your country. You know, there's so much goodness there, but at the same time, very easily the United States could destroy humanity. You know, so there's this fear right now that a lot of us have up here looking down at what's been going on down there, right? And just the nature of it. But at the same time, I know from when I was hitchhiking through the States when I was young and the time that I spent down there that American people are very fun people and very there's a lot there that, you know, we're actually so different. It's funny when I talk to Americans, you know, I really enjoy it. There's just a subtle
posted
difference.
my Vancouver forecast on your Facebook group. My video is in 8K UHD, 24 frames per second.
Wow.
8K? What is that?
That's high-tech stuff there.
I got a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G smartphone and takes 108 megapixel photos, plus it takes 8K videos.
Wow.
How much was that phone, Frankie?
Around over $1,000. I got a 256 gig version of Note 20 Ultra 5G.
I need to get a cell phone. I can't keep living like this.
Oh, gee.
I've never really owned a cell phone. I had a smartphone that I lost in the snow when falling trees this winter, and literally, like, the snow was up to almost my armpits. So once I realized the phone was gone, there was just, and it's all powder snow. Just that phone. Hopefully, I can find it this spring and try it out. But you know, now I have to use all, you know, these kind of cameras and stuff because I live where there's no cell service up in the mountains and
what about the dictatorship countries? That means people have to follow their rulers, and dictatorship countries not a good thing.
Right, I agree with that, Frankie. We want to have the freedom to be who we want to be.
in the end,
live our lives without being told how to. I'm all for that, brother.
in the end, democracy is still our best hope, right? Even if our version of it is a little unhealthy and broken right now.
Yeah, I agree that
it's still the best hope we have for humanity is some place where we can get together and sort out how we're going to do stuff, right? So
as long as people
I have a lot of criticisms of the political system that we're living under,
this
but
this is one of the plugs to use it over in Europe.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's complicated. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that.
That means they have one of these plugs in Europe.
I have to retrofit if I had one of those.
You go there with your electric shaver and stuff, and you can't plug them in anywhere.
Oh man! And you drive on the left side of the road too. Well, you guys do that too, right?
Just in
Over
England,
in the European Union countries, they drive on the right side of the road all across the EU. United Kingdom, they drive on the left side of the road, but United Kingdom is not part of the EU. Cars drive on the left side of the road in United Kingdom, South Africa, Japan, Australia, New Zealand.
Frankie's dropping the facts on me today. Good job. I'm impressed.
Sometimes I drive the left side of the road, but it's not the law.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you.
Well, thanks so much, Ian.
Yeah. I hope, Frankie, I hope you're able to get your world tour in, you know, once everything.
I'll be going to every country in the world. I'll be going to every province of Canada, every state in the United States, every region of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Panama. I'll be going to Colombia. People have to pay at the box office to go see me on stage. I'll be going to Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, UK, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Vatican City, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Belgium, Albania, Bosnia, Greece, Serbia, Turkey, Bulgaria, Belarus, every region of Russia, every region, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkestan, Uzbekistan, and Pakistan, and Mongolia, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Laos, Singapore, Philippines, and Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, and all these countries, including Cambodia, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Mauritius, La Reunion, Uganda, Congo, Gabon, DR Congo, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, Madagascar, South Africa, Botswana, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Egypt, Morocco, and all those, every country in the world, including Mauritius Islands, La Reunion Islands, French Polynesia, New Caledonia, and all these places. People will have to pay at the box office to go see me on stage. I'll be a manager. I'll need an agent. I'll need everyone, video camera crew, professional photographers. I'll need sponsorships and things like that. And people will have to pay at the box office to go see me on stage. I'll be giving out speeches, dancing on stage, doing comedy skits on stage as well, in person, not like social media. This is going to be in person. Both indoor and outdoor venues in every country in the world. I will need a professional translator.
Awesome. Well,
First time you ever said Vatican City. First time you ever said Vatican City, Frankie. The Pope has to pay too, eh?
Yeah, the Pope's got to pay too. I love it. That's the best part of the show right there. Pope's got to pay.
Well, I think I'm going to check out and start making lunch for my kids. But
Yes.
it's nice to see you, boys. Nice to meet you, Ian.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks,
to meet you,
guys.
Frankie.
Best luck, John. Frankie MacDonald. You're posting this on Facebook, on your Facebook page, Ian.
I will try my best. Hopefully this recording all comes together well, and I'll post it if I can. I'll let you know. I'll send it to you.
Take care.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye
Nice
now.
meeting you. Have a great day.
Bye now.